What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got that Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson now faced with some serious charges after sources revealed that the No Kings protests across the city of Chicago over the weekend were potentially funded and paid for by none other than Mayor Brandon Johnson's office. Guys, I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
What's your response to the protests over the weekend, the No Kings protests this week?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco...
And by the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
So there it is, folks. President Donald Trump breaking it down on the most basic level to say that he is not a king, and these protests were clearly funded by someone higher up, the Democratic leadership, George Soros, many folks to be blamed. Meanwhile, we've got that Mayor Brandon Johnson calling for a general strike against President Donald Trump at the No Kings rally across Chicago over the weekend. I want you guys to take a look at this.
So here's what we need to do in this moment. If my ancestors as slaves can lead the greatest general strike in the history of this country, taking it to the ultra-rich and big corporations, we can do the same today. I'm calling on black people, white people, brown people, Asian people, immigrants, gay people from around this country to stand up against tyranny and to send a clear message to the ultra-rich and big corporations. We are going to make them pay their fair share in taxes to fund our schools, to fund jobs, to fund healthcare, to fund transportation. Democracy will live on because of this generation. Are you ready to take it to the courts and to the streets? Cities around the world, we have declared that we will defend our democracy, we will defend our humanity, we will tear down tyranny, and we will do it together. God bless you all. God bless the greatest city in the world, the city of Chicago.
So on one hand, we've got the Democratic leadership over there in the state of Illinois claiming that President Donald Trump is quickly on his way to becoming a dictator and an authoritarian leader. And then on the other hand, we got Speaker Mike Johnson quickly clearing the air on President Trump being a king and the need for these No Kings protests. Check him out.
I'm joined now by the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, right here in the studio. Speaker Johnson, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be with you. Thanks.
So let's start with the No Kings rallies. You called these Hate America rallies. What do you mean by that?
Well, that collection of folks that I listed were certainly part of it. We congratulate them on a apparently violent free speech exercise. I was a First Amendment lawyer for 20 years. We defend that right. But the irony of the message is pretty clear for everyone. If President Trump was a king, the government would be open right now. If President Trump was a king, they would not have been able to engage in that free speech exercise out on the mall, by the way, which was open because President Trump hasn't closed it. In the last shutdown, 2013 era, President Obama closed the National Mall, it closed all the national parks, didn't allow people to engage in all this. So, I mean, they needed a stunt, they needed a show. Chuck Schumer needs cover right now. He's closed the government down because he needs political cover, and this was a part of it.
And that was Speaker Mike Johnson calling it out for exactly what it is. This is political cover for the Schumer sombrero shutdown, and I want to give you guys a look into the No Kings protests that went down over the weekend that were supposed to be so effective. Just look at who attended and what was going on. Take a look at this one.
got noses, we got kazoos.
So it doesn't take long to see exactly who was attending and supporting these No Kings protests over the weekend. It was a bunch of clown shows. I mean, come on now. This looked like a scene straight out of Circus Olay with folks dancing and wearing all these clown suits. You cannot be serious to say that this was a movement against there being a king in the White House. Give me a break. I think my favorite part of this clip was the guy at the end offering up free red clown noses and kazoos, saying, hey, I've got noses and kazoos if you guys want them. And then the most shockingly unshocking shocker of this whole situation, these No Kings protests over the weekend, was that these protests were all paid and bussed in, similar to what we've seen in the Kamala Harris rallies last year.
But the reality is, it's fake. They were all bussed in on buses, like right behind me. Stay tuned for Laura Loomer's exclusive footage that will show that a lot of the anti-Trump protesters in DC were literally bussed in. You know, it's really funny. We caught the left busing protesters into the Kamala Harris rally back in October. Then we caught the left busing protesters into Kamala Harris's Las Vegas rally, also last October. So I don't understand why the left thinks they can continue to bus people into Washington, D.C. and important events to astroturf a crowd and don't think Laura and I are going to catch them. We caught you.
And this right here is not shocking or surprising to anyone who's seen what was going on during the Kamala Harris campaign trail last year. I mean, they were paying for it and bussing in their support left and right. No surprise or shocker to see that they're bussing in and paying for protesters during these No Kings riots, the so-called protests. President Donald Trump being this king, it makes no sense. One of these folks going to wake up and realize that we're onto their schemes and scams and we can see straight through it. The public's not buying it anymore. And I want you guys to take a look at this clip here that also stood out to me. And I'm gonna leave it up to you guys in the comments to let me know. Do you see anything that kind of stands out to you about this demographic or the types of individuals that you're seeing in this crowd? I feel like it's very one-sided in nature. We're seeing that this is older white liberals that are attending these protests, these No Kings rallies. You don't see not a single black person, a single Spanish person, the folks that would be protesting because this is happening and going on in their neighborhoods, but yet they're nowhere to be found. You see this crowd, it's a sea of white liberals. Doesn't make much sense to me. And I want to flip over to another very odd sighting that we've seen at the No Kings protests over the weekend. This right here is a ginormous U.S. Constitution that you can see being carried by dozens of folks. And I just wondered to myself, how could the everyday American afford something of this magnitude, something so large? You just see that there is massive support coming for these No Kings protests. It's all artificial, bought and paid for by Democratic leadership and maybe even George Soros. And I think this one right here may take the cake as arguably the worst of them all. This is a rehearsed, look at this, a rehearsed human formation that we're seeing. Forming out the words No Kings and yes to Prop 50 in California. Oh, okay. And this was conveniently shot by an aerial cam helicopter that was above over this large human formation. I refuse to believe that this is all organic and these folks came out willingly and just knew how to make this human formation overnight. You can't make this kind of stuff up. And another big one that stood out to me among these protesters of these No Kings rallies over the weekend was when they were being interviewed and they had no answer, no comeback for why they were actually protesting other than the fact that they were there to get a quick buck and get paid.
Okay guys, we're here as a Christian conservative at a No Kings rally and we're gonna have some conversations with people and see why they believe President Trump is putting their freedom in danger. I'm a Christian, so I love Jesus, and I also happen to love President Trump. I was wondering, you're at the No Kings protest today, I was wondering how President Trump has put your freedom in jeopardy.
I wouldn't say my freedom's in jeopardy.
Yeah. So whose freedom's in jeopardy? Why are you out here at the No Kings protest, I guess? I was wondering, what has President Trump done to put your freedom in danger?
We have something come to do.
I think that he has done so by Sorry, we weren't expecting to be on.
Like, you're not cute. This isn't funny.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And that right there was one of the biggest tales that I've seen among these No Kings protests over the weekend. These folks can't even defend while they're out there protesting, other than to hurl insults at this very innocent young lady, this innocent conservative, just trying to get down to the bottom line and the effect of the matter. And another trend that we've seen among these No Kings protests, where these protesters absolutely being embarrassed and humiliated. This one right here was humiliated as a wife jumps into the interview after her husband absolutely sticks his entire foot in his mouth. Check this out.
Some ways that President Trump has put your freedom in danger.
My freedom in danger?
Yeah, your own freedom.
Because he's threatening our freedom just by using ICE as his own personal Gestapo. I have a lot of family that are immigrants.
Are they illegal though?
Does it matter?
It does matter, because we can't just be letting anyone and everyone into our country. I'm all for immigration. I'm all for your family being here, but they need to come in legally.
Yeah, all right, I'm going to stop this right here.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this. Y'all go back to your shed.
Wow, that's absolutely embarrassing. I mean, what kind of man are you to have your woman step in and speak for you? You should be ashamed of yourself. And it's truly gotten out of hand when you see that these deranged lunatics on the left are even bringing their kids into it. Just take a look at this one. This one just really grinded my gears.
I'm out here because I want to protest against Mr. President because he's really mean, and I don't know all the stuff, but I know he's being really mean.
We are out here protesting the current fascist government and authoritarian ICE taking people off our streets. I am a public health nurse and we have been defunded. I have a husband who is currently on furlough, and we don't believe with how the government is handling themselves. This is not how democracy works.
And that right there is absolutely sad. I can almost guarantee you that that little girl would rather be somewhere playing with her dollies or playing at the park with her friends, but yet her mom has selfishly drugged her to a No Kings protest, and she's protesting the wrong side. You heard that her husband's been furloughed as a result of the government shutdown, but just think of it, it's the left. It's the left that's got the government shut down. They're holding the government hostage, yet you continue to blame President Donald Trump. Get real. These guys need to snap out of it. And this next clip of a couple being interviewed during the No Kings protest over the weekend, I think may take the cake, as this couple may have just broken up after the boyfriend answers wrong in the girlfriend's book over illegal immigrants being deported back to their country. Take a look.
Do you support the deportation of illegal immigrants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. She's saying she doesn't.
If they're illegal, then yeah.
Do you not support the deportation of illegal migrants? And why not? He does and you don't.
It's not illegal.
Okay. If someone crossed over the border illegally, should they be deported?
I'm not too sure about that.
Hope I didn't just ruin their relationship.
Oh my guys, the look on her face said it all. She's absolutely done with that man, and the look on her boyfriend's face is absolutely priceless. He just knows that he's going to get an earful and get chewed out in the car behind his answer. But let's be real with ourselves. He's just calling it exactly how it is. There is a right and there is a wrong in this situation, and she is clearly in the wrong. And speaking of calling folks out, we got black residents now calling out Mayor Brandon Johnson straight to his face for wasting their tax dollars to fund these protests.
Not no paid protester, not somebody that's paid with a 501c3. You got a real, live South Shore resident at this mic. Now what you're going to do for the citizens of South Shore and the black people of Chicago, you're going to stop with all this fake black facade you're doing. You're going to stop that. Because first of all, you're going to deal with the fact that word on the street is you're a Haitian. And if that be the case, that explains a lot. But if you're not, we're going to dethrone this self-acclamation you gave yourself at that Black Caucus thing, where you said that you're the freest black man in America right now. I dare you insult black men like that. You are far cry from that. You're sitting here talking against Trump, trying to make him look this way or that way, when we right here this morning saw you misuse the police department to violate our rights as citizens. Right? You told them that they cannot participate in getting these illegal immigrants while you sat up here and misrepresented that raid on South Shore Drive like black people was getting beat up and all that over there. You know that's a lie. I live over there, and black people over there, we kicking in and we chilling because ICE ain't looking for us. And you know they're not. They're coming to get what we asked our president to do, and that was to engage in mass deportation, to get these illegals out of our country. We are coming for them seats. Do you understand that? And while you got these people up in here acting like they pro-police, if they really was about the police, against the police, whatever the case may be, they deal with that Laquan McDonald Act so that we can get y'all up out of that seat. Yeah, you wipe your face. Yeah? You wipe your face because you're probably out breaking out in a sweat. Let me tell you something. We coming for them seats. And at first, I said it to you. Then it spread it to city council. But now you're going to mess with the black people of America and American citizens by being a fraud and showing the Democratic Party by how lousy they really are. Black people in America, American citizens, y'all say it along with me. From the East Coast to the West Coast, from the North to the South. The Democratic Party, we're putting y'all on alert. All across of America. That's right. We coming for them seats. That's right.
Wow, I'll applaud that woman for getting up there and telling it exactly how it is. I don't think she spared any words when addressing Mayor Brandon Johnson. The folks are sick of it, and you know it's bad. Come on, you know it's bad when even the libs are calling it out for exactly what it is, saying that the No King's Day protests were absolutely anti-productive and counterintuitive. They're not getting anything done.
Bro, No King's Day was so anti-productive. My voice is out because I was leading chants. Bro, there were so many people willing to say, show me what democracy looks like, show me what a patriot looks like, but as soon as I start chanting about some free Palestine or from Palestine to Mexico, these border walls have got to go, nobody said a word. Not only that, but they had Democrat voting tables with like some Democrats campaign. They had police all around it that they invite to the protest. And then right when the protest was supposed to be over, they told everybody to leave. They're like, you gotta get out. I wish I was making this shit up.
Oh my goodness. So we can see that even the libs felt that it was completely pointless. The whole No King's Day protest got them absolutely nowhere. And let's not forget what these protests were even about in the first place. This was all about the Schumer sombrero shutdown. And President Donald Trump has come out now saying that he is still not going to budge. He is not going to fund illegal free healthcare for these illegals for free. It's not going to happen. Look at the way he breaks it down.
Aren't you going to have to compromise on something around healthcare subsidies
Here's
to end
the
this
problem.
thing?
They want to give 1.5. They have a deal. We have a deal. We just want an extension. And the reason we want an extension is because you can't make a deal with these people. They're lunatics. They've gone crazy. They're crazed people. Trump derangement syndrome. There really is that disease. At first I found it to be amusing. Now I find that there really is. They want $1.5 trillion for health care for illegal aliens that come into our country. If we do that, it will jeopardize the health care of the citizens of our country. So we're not going to do that.
And my response to that one is simply stand strong, my brother, stand strong. This is exactly what I voted for. Do not send them $1.5 trillion for free healthcare for these illegals. We voted for you to stand strong, brother. Do not back down against these loonies on the left. And then get this, guys. CNN just revealed that the Schumer sombrero shutdown is not harming President Donald Trump's public image, but helping him. Yes, helping him.
About Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating, we're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018, 2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see here, you see Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
And he's doing things differently during this shutdown.
Yes, exactly right. You know, we talk about Donald Trump and you say, okay, he wants to be a consequential, influential president. Well, if the legislative process is basically freezed up, you know, on Capitol Hill, you may say, well, then he can't actually get legislation through. But that's not how Trump is governing in this term. We've spoken about this over and over and over again.
Wow, folks. So even CNN forced to reluctantly admit that President Donald Trump is not losing favorability or support, but gaining it. But folks, I will tell you who is losing support and favorability by the second and the minute. It's these loonies on the left. The Democratic Party is absolutely plummeting behind this government shutdown and their latest tactics of these No Kings protests. Folks are seeing that this is all for nothing but selfishness coming from the Democratic Party. By now, I know you folks know at home that the No Kings Day protests had the internet in absolute frenzy and an uproar. And I want to take a little bit of time to visit the reactions from users on X, starting out with our friend Chairman here, who tweeted out saying, what I learned from the whole No Kings Day protest is that it was attended by the last generation of Americans who believe everything that they see on TV. And that's exactly what this is. A bunch of folks sitting out there that have been either lied to or paid to come out there and protest. Either way, this is not real support, and it shows. Next up, we got our friend Gene Robinson here tweeting out saying, I watched the No Kings rally in Chicago. It was a sea of white liberals screaming for quote unquote freedom, but what they really want is to keep Black America quarantined in chaos. They don't want Trump cleaning up the South Side. They don't want 2,500 shootings a year. They want our sons ducking bullets while they sip lattes in the suburbs. I challenge them, come live in the ghetto where I live for 30 days. I'll live where you live, and then tell me who's oppressed, not one accepted, because deep down they love the ghetto that they created as long as they don't have to live in it. Wow, Gene Robinson absolutely lighting it up. And again, I showed you guys the demographic of who attended these protests, either paid supporters or folks that were brainwashed, and it's very clear to see. And next up, we got the great Gunther Eagleman here tweeting out saying, just announced approximately a combined 650,000 people attended a No Kings rally nationwide, LOL. Laugh out loud, they said it was 7 million. That's how much they're reporting over there on those left-wing mainstream media outlets. And once again, they're gaslighting and attempting to brainwash people into believing that they've got more support than they truly do, when in reality, their support is dropping by the minute, probably by the second. And last but certainly not least, we got Jamal Green here with a very great point saying, how come the white liberals doesn't do well at getting Black people out to these No Kings protests? Easy, we're sick of y'all's crap, and that's the bottom line of it. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness, once again we're seeing that same old tired playbook being put to use by these loonies on the left. When will they learn that that artificial and inorganic support is not going far? It's not getting you anywhere. Folks can see straight through it, especially when you got folks living through the reality of what's going on. They're seeing the migrant and the crime crisis affecting where they're living, their children, where they play, and they're tired of it. They're fed up. These lies, these propped up folks that are being paid to come out and protest, are not getting folks anywhere. If anything, it's going to get these folks in further trouble. Democratic leadership, George Soros, because the Trump administration is not naive to their tactics. It's only a matter of time before they cross that line and President Donald Trump steps in to do something, guys. But definitely hop in that comment section. Comments open, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. button if you'd enjoy more content like this. Catch you guys on the next week.